What I found interesting from the first podcast that we did with you was you explained your business and you guys were valued at $1 billion.
Yeah.
And then the next year, everything came to a lull. I think that you explained it was because of the lack of like the capital injection from the government, the stimulus money, the loans and all of that stuff. People started buying tires a little bit less and it went down, cut in half.
Yeah.
$500 million.
Yeah.
Where is the business at now?
We've had 3 flat years now and we are outpacing the market by being flat because I think, and distributors that we talk with, high level people that are doing billion plus in revenue on the B2B end, the market has shrunk, I think. Part of that is because there's less disposable income, shrinking middle class, interest rates are going. The market for luxury items always shrinks when it's tough. And depending on who you talk to, some will say most business owners I talk to say it is definitely tougher now than it was during COVID years when people had money. But then you look at like unemployment statistics and other thing, and it looks like actually we're quite okay. But again, most business owners say it's a tough environmental climate, particularly for retail sales, and luxury items. So I would say that at this point we have to get growth. We've done a fantastic job maintaining bottom line and improving bottom line actually each year. Since we last spoke, I think it's been a year and a half or 2 years, but we've improved our bottom line despite being flat pretty significantly. But you need to have that growth element as well. So we have a very big portion of the market. We have great bottom line, but I need to get top line growth. And we had to stop all growth projects for about a year and a half when we overhired. COVID money ran out. Like it was all about stabilization for a year and a half. And when you stop growth projects, that's part of the reason why you're flat. Even though we outpace the market, that's part of the reason why you're not seeing great growth. So now in the last 9 months, we've kickstarted a lot of growth projects. We're building 2 new tires, getting new wheel styles out there, launching other initiatives. We've significantly changed our websites, Custom Offsets and Fitment Industry, shameless plug.
It'll be in the description, guys.
Significantly changed like order flow, trying to make it still very enthusiast driven, but easier for everyone to use. And we're already seeing a little bit of the fruits of the labor where September is actually the first month this year where we're up. We're actually up in units too, which is the funky thing. We're up. There's deflationary pressures that have pushed the cost of tires and wheels down, a lot of discounting. So we're actually up in units. But September is the first month where we're up in dollars. And so we're hoping that the fruits of our labor of all of the projects that we kickstarted again get us growing. So once we have that element, we won't sell if it's south of 500 million. And I think we're very close to that now. If we got top line growth, it should be based upon discussions we've had with investment banks. It sounds like that's probably on the low end if we had top line growth.
What's wrong with not growing and just having a great business that's consistent, that's profitable, and you just sit back, let it do its thing?
That's the worst thing is complacency. They say if you're not growing, you're dying, right? Especially with, I do think market share is decreasing, but internet and e-com purchases are increasing every year. So we need the aftermarket automotive sector to get hot again. But no, I just don't think you can ever be complacent because then you're stopping growth projects and then you get behind. You get behind when you're complacent. There's no way to stay ahead of the game if you're not seeking growth.
But you're pretty burnt out. I mean, you mentioned that you were working 80 to 100 hour weeks for, you said decades or something like that. So I'm guessing now, like you said, you probably just want to get a high valuation, sell, and then.
So it's different. My level of commitment to my wheel and tire companies has always been steadfast. Like there actually is not burnout there. It is whatever I can do that is a big lever. I'm going to do it right now and I'm going to do it. And it's fun because we have other owners again, but like it's fun having almost complete control, right? And so do the other guys. Like it's great when you can go in and have things done without really worrying about corporate bureaucracy. And I don't think there's a lot of that in our company anyway. And genuinely, we have a phenomenal team and an amazing C-suite where I can be like, this is a project that I want executed, be involved for a few weeks, and then pass it off into their trusted hands to go execute it. So right now, I would say that I'm most passionate about supply chain and relationships with brands that we sell, that I've had some of them for 20 years. And so, the biggest opportunity I saw was focusing on some brands, getting them growing and trying to improve our margin with that brand if we can get them growth. So that's a big part of the reason why we've had EBITDA growth despite being flat, was efforts in the supply chain.
So You mentioned the revenue this year is expected to be $380 million. $350 million. Yep. What would the profit then be on that?
See, I don't know if I could share this, but historically, like if you look back during COVID years when people had endless amounts of money, we actually struggled. Like it was like 6%. Now it's 10. It's low. It's 10 to 10.5. So we've done really well, and you could do the math pretty easily.
And you have 40% of that, so we can
and I have 40%
extrapolate, do a little bit more math.
Yeah, exactly.
Calculator.
So there's my annual income from the wheel and tire companies. But the real value is, and I'm by no means cash poor. A lot of people have to put all of their money back in the company and take a small portion out. Like I can take a lot of that out of the company. The company doesn't, like negative working capital can be a bad thing, but we actually have that in a good way where all of the money that we get from customers, the vendor floats that we get at no interest points, like I don't even dip into the credit line. We have access to $50 million worth of capital that we don't touch. We can operate this business cash free, which is crazy when you're doing that much volume a year. And then we don't have great leverage, or we have the best leverage where we have 300,000 plus customers, and then we deal with 100 plus brands. There's nobody that has leverage on either side of the equation. So like everything about this company is great. We just need freaking top line growth.
I'm curious if your YouTube channel funnels growth.
It does. So that's part of the business plan was like, it wasn't the intention, but then we realized that this is a good like loudspeaker for advertising for our channel. The hidden element was getting connected with influencers. Like our team couldn't do it before. And it's because you're emailing from a business that clearly has an agenda. Some people want to earn money and do ads, but like with my collection, I mean, my wife and I pretty much donate all of what we make from this channel. I have to keep it separate because I need this channel to be profitable to an aspect and cover costs. So I have to be careful the way I pitch that. But we basically look at what the channel makes, and my wife and I personally donate all of that income. So like I'm not incentivized to grow revenue on this channel all that much. But I would say that because of that charitable aspect, and we share these cars with the amount of people that have driven these cars and access them would shock you. We're at a car show and we have the nicest cars at the show, and we're the only guys opening up all of the doors on the cars, letting kids go in them, honk horns, start them up, and again, they're the nicest cars in the show. And so that's always been what it's been about, and what this channel is about, is serving the community and giving them access to cars that they couldn't have had access to otherwise. And because of that, and people know our message, it's easier for me to get my foot in the door with people. It's Whistling Diesel's been a really great guy that we have a good relationship with, and it's, hey, like if you're ever in town, just come drive one of my super hypercars. Just let me know, and then that's a pretty good hook, right? And then you get them in, and then if they come in and they want to shoot content, all the better. And then if we happen to be going to Tennessee by where he lives or passing through, it's, hey, can we just stop by your compound? Okay, are you cool if we shoot a vlog? And sometimes we don't ask that if it doesn't make sense, but we foster these relationships. But then I'm like, okay, this guy's like in the automotive sector, and he would be a great partner for Fitment Industries and Custom Offsets. And he's actually, it's funny because there was like a beef that happened with our company and him, because some boo-boos at our company went and made a comment about mirrors on his truck, and Whistling Diesel doesn't like that stuff, and I don't blame him. So he like went on a tirade against Custom Offsets. So we actually had this weird contentious relationship with him.
This is while you were friends with him?
This was before. This was before.
So this started
So like I'm friends with him, and then like there was this past contentious relationship, but then it just opened up a conversation around like, he wants to drive more income. He would love to have brand deals. So now we're appearing in his videos in brand segments because of the Hamilton collection. And he was one of our biggest drivers of revenue when he pushes an ad for us. And I've fostered a bunch of those connections at this point. My team gave me a list of people that they couldn't get in contact with. And I think 7 out of 10 of them we had dialogue with, and were able to get some capacity of an ad done with this team that they just were not able to get connections with before.
Although before we go into that, some people don't know that I have a coffee company. It's called Bankroll Coffee, and our goal is to bring you the highest quality coffee at the most affordable price. Now, of course, as far as delivering on that promise goes, I had to do a ton of research on the best e-commerce platforms to use, and that is where our sponsor, Shopify, is there to help.
Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet, with way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going For example, Shopify is a service called Shop Pay, which lets customers save their email address, credit card, shipping, and billing information, which boost conversions up to 50%.
And if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customer is scrolling or strolling, whether that be on the web, in a physical storefront, on their feed, or anything in between. All in all, no one is selling better than Shopify. So if you want to upgrade your business and use the same checkout that Bankroll Coffee uses, sign up for their $1 trial period today at shopify.com/ICH, all lowercase.
Again, that is shopify.com/ICH to upgrade your selling today for just $1 at shopify.com/ICH. Trust me, it's worth it. Thank you so much, Shopify, for sponsoring this episode, and back to the show.